everyone, and welcome to episode 52 of Gamestack Podcast. It's not the best choice, it's Gamestack's choice. I'm
Nice.
Shalene, and I am joined by my lovely two compatriots today. Hello, Vendertron, how are you?
Welcome, sir or madam.
And Rick, hi.
Duty howdy.
How are you guys doing? I missed you.
Doing swell, doing swell. It's been a long week of conference for me. Yeah, it's been winter is here now. We are
So it's not coming anymore. It
We're
came.
expecting like 7 to 10 inches of snow tonight. So
Ugh.
yeah. Got the winter tires on though. Did you guys see what happened to me in the Discord? Did you see
Yes, you must share this story for anyone who is not
Yeah, I
in the
missed this.
Discord.
Okay, so real quick, yesterday morning I got up and it was really cold outside, so I ran out to start the Mini up to warm it up. And so I started the car, came back in the house, I'm doing my thing, getting everything ready. And I throw my jacket on and I leave and I get in the car and I drive to work all the way across the city. I get to the parkade, and for whatever reason, I decided to drive yesterday because I had this conference and I was going to be there super late and I didn't want to take public transit late at night because it's kind of dangerous. But anyways, so I get to the parkade, turn the car off, and I get out of the car and I go to push the button on the door handle to lock the doors, and the doors don't lock. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I pull my bag around closer to the door, thinking that like the fob just isn't close enough. So I push the button again, nothing. And then I was like, oh my God, the key fob is in my other jacket that I used to start the car with at home. And I drove my vehicle all the way to work without the key fob somehow. And so I was like stranded basically at work. I couldn't start the car. I couldn't lock the car. And yeah. So I ended up having to take the train back home, get the key from my dad, met me at the station, and then go all the way back to work. Yeah. So I didn't even know you could drive cars without key fobs.
You
Yeah,
shouldn't
can
be
drive,
able
you can't turn
to.
them on.
I'm pretty sure that's a bug, not a feature.
That is a huge design flaw, Minnie, if you're ever watching.
I think you
But
should
Sarah's-
submit a bug report.
I
Yeah.
think Sarah's Subaru you can drive without the fob, and then you just can't turn it back on again.
Yeah,
I think the idea is if you drive away from your house and you forget your fob, you can drive back.
Well, my old car was an Acura TL, a 2016, I think.
Mhm.
And when you push the brake to pull it out of park, the engine would turn off if you didn't have the key fob inside of the car.
Ah,
And so I just thought that all vehicles were like that. But anyway, so
Gotcha.
that's the story. Yeah. But how are you, Rick? How's your week?
my week's been interesting. Just picking away at the projects I have going on, the myriad of projects. I realized, so when you're a treasure hunter like I am, or you try to get old equipment like I do, you meet a lot of old gentlemen who are the kind of gentlemen that they're like, well, I've got 50,000 projects in no time, and you go, their basements are all cluttered and they've got projects galore that they'll never finish, and then just that whole thing, kind of quasi hoarding. And I realized I'm one of them now. I am that guy. Like
You
I
are.
have I have the lathe, I have an amp, I've got an old console that needs restoring, I've got a few tape decks that need done, and it's just like, oh, I'm that guy. I will be that guy as I get older. I had my mom buy me a console 1940s or 50s radio, like an old tube radio. Is a console. It's about like waist high. She bought it for like $5, and it's now
Yeah.
sitting in my living room, just sitting in my living room. Um, for no reason other than, oh, it's a cool old radio. I'll just put this in my living room and sit my old Swinger sewing machine on it. And it's just I've crossed
Wait
this
a minute.
weird threshold.
Wasn't there like this thing that you did where you cleaned out like estate sales?
Yes, I don't do that very often anymore, but
Well,
yeah, I
it's going to
used to
come
do
full
that.
circle if you don't smarten up.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be the estate sale.
People
No,
are going to be like,
yeah.
look at all the stuff this guy had.
Oh, it'll be a great sale because they're gonna be like, this dude has a record lathe and he's got all this old stuff, and people will come from miles around. Because Evie certainly probably won't care anything about this at all, so it's just for me. And then after I'm gone, it's gonna just go out into the ether. So,
No, you'll
um,
have a plan for it.
well, I've been listening to this podcast, and a shout out to this podcast called Ephemeral. And if you're into anything historic, like old,
Mm.
like it's about ephemera, so it's just stuff that shouldn't exist but still sticks around. And the episodes are very beautiful. Some are haunting. It's very much like that. They talk a little bit about it too, just stuff that should be, what happens to someone's collection when they go on. Does it get tossed out? Does it just get
Yeah.
stuck in an attic?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just that's been my week, and tomorrow will be a full day of working on one of my projects,
Cool.
namely the lathe.
You should
Nice.
stream that.
Um,
You should stream record making.
when it works, I will. But
That would be really cool.
the tedious thing that I'll be doing tomorrow would not be fun, because like people would watch me like pull the motor out, make
Yeah.
a tiny adjustment, put the motor back in, and go,
Right.
pull the motor back out, make a tiny adjustment, put it back in, and go, pull the
Yeah.
motor out, make it. So do you see where I'm getting with this?
Yeah.
That's my day tomorrow. I don't know how I married. I got lucky, I guess.
Shalene, how about you? How's your week?
Well, it was a week. I spent, well, I don't want to go too deeply into it, but I spent like 6 hours of today preparing for a deposition.
Right. I
Yeah.
forgot about this.
So that's as far into that as we're gonna go. But I feel really good. I felt really fantastic this week. The mood is good, so I'm ready to podcast. I am prepared. My body is
Mhm.
ready.
Mhm.
So,
That's
speaking
good.
of podcasts, we should do one of those.
Yeah, now that we've had our little
Yeah.
pre-podcast therapy session.
We do. I love it. I love it. Okay, what have we got here on these show notes? It's almost as though these show notes were written 20 minutes ago, and I don't know what's there.
Well, Extra Life is a thing.
Yeah, that is a thing. It's happening on November 23rd, and which one of you gentlemen wants to tell us more about Extra Life?
I'll do it since Vender's mouth is full of liquid. He for those of you listening, he took a drink.
Phrasing.
Of tea.
Of
It just gets worse. Stop. And it's
and so Extra Life we're going to be doing on November 23rd, and we're going to do the 24-hour stream. Vendor and Shalene will be popping in and out for shifts because I'm stupid and I really want to try doing the full 24 because yeah, why not? And so
you're crazy.
I am a crazy man. And we're going to start that Saturday morning. I don't really have a time yet. I'm thinking like let's do 9:30. Let's do 9:30
What?
in the
That's too late.
morning.
We need to start at like 6.
What?
Because then you end at 6. And then you have like 3 hours to like have a shower after the 24 hours and then crash for 2 days.
But if he starts at 6, that's going to be 4 for us.
Oh, right. No, I'm good.
Goofball.
9 is good. 9's
Yeah.
just fine.
Okay, so we're gonna start it. I'm gonna start at 9:30 in the morning on Saturday morning.
Okay,
which
9:30.
is-
Did
9:30?
you start at 9?
I'll start at 9.
If you could start at 9, I could be here for half an hour.
I'll start.
Hey,
at
that
9
would be
in the
great
morning.
because then we would all be here for the start. Here we are planning the show on the
Because
show.
I
on the
start
show.
work at 9:30 your time, so.
Okie doke. So I will start streaming 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 23rd, and then we'll end the stream on Sunday, November 24th at 9 in the morning. And we're going to be raising money for Children's Miracle Network, and the money will benefit Johns Hopkins Children's Medical Center in Baltimore,
Mhm.
Maryland. So if you guys could please hang out with us through that 24 hours, I'm going to have a hard time, I know, but it will be fun, I'm sure. And so join us for that. Save up a couple pennies, scrap a couple things. I would like to raise at least $500. That's kind of in my head.
Well,
I'd be happy
we've
with
set our
5.
goal at 1,000.
Yes.
So, and I think that's certainly doable. I think
Okay.
we have amazing community of people and there will be new people coming in. And we also, I'm happy to report as of today, have our first member on our team. Asiana Grande from Twitter sent me a personal message and said,
Aw.
oh wait, no, I'm mistaken. They were asking for the Discord link. So we are still at team 0.
Okay.
I may have
and
a prospect for you. I'll tell you about that later.
Right. So just to comment on that. So if any of you listening would like to join our team, you are more than welcome to join us for the 24 hours and play games alongside. And we will provide you or give you an invite to the WJLG Extra Life team. There are 10 slots available. Just to clarify, though, that you would play alongside us off stream while we are streaming. But there is potential to play games together, right? Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, blah 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 blah. So
yeah, and it doesn't have to be the full 24 at all. So but yeah, so I'm just doing that because I want to, and I think Vendor, you're going to join us like in the morning and then like in the afternoon and such.
well, I mean, so if we're starting early in the morning on Saturday and it's a Saturday, I'm probably gonna do like all day. I'm probably gonna do it all day because I don't have any work.
Do it all day.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have someone at least a little bit for the night shift, just to help out because I'll get lonely.
Oh right.
Lonely.
Right.
I can't think of a way to say this that you're not going to turn into something dirty, but I'm your night shift girl.
Charlene.
I think on the Saturday
Don't put out
I would
the red light.
I'd probably stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
And then on the Sunday I would get up again probably at 6 or 7.
And
Yeah.
I'll walk out of the room a little bit here and there, do some push-ups, and do some 5-hour energy or something to keep me going. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I've always wanted to do it. It'll be my first time doing it, and
So can I give you some advice
please do.
as someone who's done it?
Mhm.
Prepare for it. Prepare for it. So have bottles of water on standby, have Advil when you need it. What are you laughing at? I'm being serious.
I know. But in my head, everything just turns into innuendo.
Oh, well. Anyways, also have some healthy snacks. So
Snacks.
yeah, like have like protein bars or like granola bars and have some actual meals prepared and in the fridge. So all you have to do is heat them up.
Like pizza and Chinese
so then
food.
yeah, so if you want to pop away for like 10 minutes to snarf down a meal or 15 minutes to snarf down a meal, you can do that, right? And you don't have to cook a whole thing, right? All your meals are prepared. So those are my suggestions.
Or
And
I
of
could
course,
just have
stand
the wife
up.
take care of it, huh?
Stand up every like
Yes.
hour
Yeah,
or so.
no blood clots allowed.
Yeah.
No.
Jumping
I,
jacks. Jumping
Yeah,
jacks.
I have to work that morning, so I'll be at work. But then, after I get off, I'll come on, and then like if I can get in like a 2-hour nap, then I can stay up pretty late with you. So we'll be good to go. That was planning the show on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of charity stuff, I'm doing one tomorrow. Tomorrow is the ASA Podcasting Cystic Fibrosis Charity live stream. So 12 hours. They're starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and running through 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can catch me for a live episode of Dames Who Game at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you would like to see a live recording of the Dames Who Game and what chaos that is before it gets edited, you should definitely join us there. I will tweet links tomorrow. And also go support them because cystic fibrosis is an incredibly worthwhile cause. It is such a devastating disease that affects so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a cause that needs some help. So definitely show up and support.
One of my family members, a cousin of mine, she was 20 when she passed away from complications because of cystic fibrosis. So yeah, it's close to home. And I remember you did this the last 2 years or last year, Shalene?
We've all done it, actually.
Yeah, we did it for Fallout Feed, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done it as a trio for like at least 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
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 So, ASA, we love ya, and we're here to support ya, and everybody go throw some dollars at the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And if you're still here for some reason, you can host us on Twitch, tell your friends. Vendor, who are the 5-star review people this time?
So, we've got all the way from the U.S. of A. Oh no,
This is a good
to
one.
to Clutchito. Is the T silent?
I think I would make it slightly silent at least. Mostly not like
How do you make a T slightly silent?
gluchito. Gluchito.
Clutchito. Okay. Um, they say what they said. Enough said. What they say, and then in brackets, enough said. So, uh, yeah. Thank you for that 5-star shout out. Also from all the way from across the pond, Great Britain, Profound Duck, who says, longtime listener and love these podcasts. Such an addictive listen. Always excited for the next episode. And if you would like to leave us a 5-star review shout out, all you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, search We Just Love Games Gamestack or That Fallout Show, and leave us a 5-star review shout out, and we will mention you on the show. We have some new people in the Discord as well. We
If
would
you
like
can see
to...
my screen, it's start right here.
I have it. I have it here.
Okay,
We're
good
good.
deal.
I'd like to welcome Misfits to the Discord, as well as Wookie Monster. So welcome, friends, to the Discord. Guys, the Discord this week has been a roller coaster of emotion. Our community is so amazing. Isn't our community just the best?
They really
Well,
are.
Pshaw, we built it.
They're so good.
They're
Everybody
lovely
is
people.
just everybody has just been so chatty this week in the Discord. All the channels are lit up.
And they're
With new
supporting each other and having interesting conversations.
Yeah, making decisions together. Somebody
Tell that story. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, so I tweeted this out earlier today. So I think it was let me go to the Gears channel here. Yeah, RTZ13 was like, shall I get a Switch? Just throwing it out into the WJLG universe. And then 2 hours later, Brock DeMock says, yes. And then he says an hour later, okay. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
So that's
we don't know what
out.
happened after that.
Let us know how you like your new Switch.
Yeah, I guess so. Glad WGLG can help you make decisions. Also, somebody had posted a baby in some sort of chamber.
Yes, it's the Death Stranding special edition. Remember? The Death Stranding special edition comes with a baby in a jar.
You got way too excited for that.
Well, it's fantastic.
I've always wanted a preserved fetus.
It's madness.
I mean, it does look really cool.
It does, and
Yeah.
That was Don Daly that got the fetus in a jar edition of Death Stranding. He did a little unboxing screenshot episode. I guess they're photos when they happen in real life.
It's a pickled infant. Too bad it's dill.
Yes.
Well, anyways, if you would
Deal with
like
it.
to, if you would like, if you would like to join the Discord, and as Rick likes to call it, Chat After Dark, you can do so by finding us on social media and sending us a personal message, and we can make sure you get the link. Or if you're watching live right now, all you have to do is scroll down and right below Rick, the link to the Discord is right there, and that'll bring you directly into the server. So, yeah, that's all we got for Discord. Back to you, Shalene.
That was a 20-minute intro to this podcast.
You're getting worse.
We are.
Well, we're just gonna blow through everything else.
Things up, and it didn't work. But that's okay. We're gonna do some news now. Thank you. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I feel like the whole intro bit is just us hanging out a little bit before the show.
Is.
We need that. It's a primer.
Yes.
Yeah.
We enjoy it, and we don't.
No
care
one's
if you
yelled
do,
about it yet.
frankly. So,
Dude Fuse in chat says episode 104, 40-minute intro.
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%.
We'll get there.
I'm not even mad. That would be like an accomplishment.
What? Oh, because we had 104 episodes.
Gosh, can you imagine?
Okay,
No,
this is
we've
why.
always
This is
planned to
why.
cancel after 100.
Are you ready? You're gonna do. Don't say that. People are
Yes,
gonna
you're
lose their
panic
minds.
The people.
I was waiting for someone to at least catch on with that one.
Okay, news.
I'm kidding.
News, guys, news. Thank you to Joseph Tao, the official news director for We Just Love Games. This just in. I accidentally booted PS4 Remote Play. Let me just shut that down. Okay. Okay, Rick, tell us about the free games with services this month.
Free games with services. Nice. So for PlayStation Plus, you get from now to December 3rd, you get Neo, we're the Knights of Neo.
Neo.
Nioh. Nickel, Ohio, if you're kind for.
What if the main character was like a knockoff of Keanu Reeves?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like a
And then you get
spin-off.
Outlast 2
Oh, well, that's fun. Okay.
as well. Xbox games with gold. On the Xbox One, from November 1st until the November 30th, you get Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter. And then you can also get The Final Station, November 16th through December 15th. Xbox 360, you get Star Wars Jedi Starfighter from November 1st to the 15th. And then from November 16th to the November 30th, you get Joyride Turbo. Twitch Prime, you get Darksiders 2, Planet Alpha, Sword Legacy, Omen, Turmoil, and Double Cross.
I claimed Planet Alpha. Claimed the offer for that.
Tell
What
me
is
about
that?
I haven't played it yet,
Tell us.
it.
but I am looking forward to it. Looks really good.
Apparently, these Twitch Prime free games are not a huge draw because Joseph actually has a hard time finding a reliable news source reporting on them for us to use. So, interesting.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, Twitch.
I think people are mad about Twitch Prime.
I'm mad that Twitch Prime no longer includes ad-free Twitch viewing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the benefit of Twitch Prime.
I know, but it's free through Amazon Prime, so it's kind of.
The only caveat now is that affiliate streamers and partnered streamers generate revenue from the ads.
That is
So
nice,
I'm happy
yeah.
to report that I've made $7.16 on that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Nice. Gosh, that's
I
like
that.
what? That's like 47 cents American?
Yeah.
That's-
I only had to
We-
stream for like 400 hours.
We should monetize so we can
We really do need to
enough
to,
to
do
buy a
that,
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah. That would be enough to keep the podcast hosted for 4 days, approximately.
Yeah.
So, guys, that was a thing that happened. You know what else happened? Amazon has blocked sales of unauthorized Nintendo products.
Oh, is that a good thing?
Yeah. Well, I guess it is. Yeah, because you're no longer getting bootleg items. So, this is an email that was shared via the Amazon Sellers Forum. The source for this is gamesindustry.biz, article by James Batchelor. And Batchelor reports that that you need Nintendo's approval before you can continue selling Nintendo products. So if you do not obtain approval to see these products prior to 2019-10/31, your listings will be removed. Amazon notes that this is part of their ongoing efforts to provide the best customer experience. And it's not clear
And
whether
not
this
pay
decision was
taxes.
made by Amazon, Nintendo,
Yeah.
or both together.
I think that Nintendo is definitely involved in that. They're probably like, if
Absolutely.
you don't pull this down, we're pulling our products from your.
Mhm.
It's like Nintendo is not known at all for putting the ban hammer on things that they haven't
Right?
sanctioned.
Not at all. Yes.
Nothing. No.
Nintendo's never been
They're
litigious
angels.
in any way.
Angels.
Yeah. Joseph Tao's commentary on this article, he says, "This is amazing. This is especially great before the holidays so that families aren't ripped off by these people and
Yeah.
businesses."
It's not wrong. I guess they're just gonna, if you want your bootlegged weird Nintendo misspelled products, you have to go to shady eBay listings then.
Indeed.
Really? Really? We're just gonna let that hang?
I
No one's gonna continue.
I will
on?
openly admit that I've ordered stuff from Singapore.
No, I
Shanghai and like some
well,
random
I
place
didn't.
in Tasmania.
I'm not smart enough to know what you were doing there, Rick. I'm sorry.
no, I just meant we could. It's just a lot of dead air.
Yeah.
I was just saying, it's just dead air, like dead air, dead air, dead air. Dead air, dead air.
Da-da-da-da.
If only we had someone editing the podcast that could
I'm
cut
not
out
going to remember to edit this out.
long silences.
No, I like it. I like it. It's good.
I do too. Our next story is it's about some crazy new regulations on gaming in China. And the source for this is also gamesindustry.biz, an article by Rebecca Valentine. And China's gaming regulation service has published these restrictions. They are supposed to be focused on minors playing video games. And it includes an extension of the already in existence real name identification policy. It enforces some time limits, some age rating limits, and some spending limits. Yeah, it's really interesting and rather troubling as well. And it makes me glad that I'm in America. The South China Morning Post reports that the new rules from the State Administration of Press and Publications include the expansion of the existing real name identification policy to all games on all platforms. Users will be required to verify their age by registering with their real name. It will be checked against a database to determine whether or not that player is a minor. The existing database will be updated, making it more difficult for minors to bypass the system with fake IDs. And any player who is determined to be a minor will be restricted to an hour and a half per day of gaming. And that is more restrictive than the current limit of 3 hours, or 3 hours per day on holidays. And minors will not be able to play during the hours between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Players under... I'm sorry. The
It's
Liberty
ridiculous.
Crime quotes in chat are killing me. I lost it. Goodness, I'm a professional. Guys, don't do this to me.
You let dead air happen. We're not professional.
Well, maybe you're not professionals.
I work in radio, dear. so-
Guys, let's get back to the show.
Speaking of immaturity, players under age 8 will be prohibited from spending real money in video games, which, of course, I feel like parents should be able to parent, but I guess that's not necessarily a terrible thing.
Haven't you heard in 2019, parents don't parent?
Hey, whoa. I parent just fine. See? Dead air.
Dead air. We're never going to get through this show.
Okay. Minors from ages 8 to 16 can spend a maximum of... Okay, I'm just going to click over so I can see what that is in not Chinese money. $28 to $57 per month, depending on the individual. And players who are younger than the age rating on a game will be restricted from playing entirely. And this real name registration system was implemented in 2007. And Tencent and NetEase were two of the companies who began spearheading this push to expand restrictions on minors' gaming habits. So that's very interesting.
So how the heck do they plan to enforce this?
It's all online database checks.
Mhm.
Everything's
Yeah,
all
but-
hooked up.
but-
It'll be
like-
automated, largely automated.
Kids are like water. They will find a way.
Oh,
They will
yeah, of
find
course.
a way through.
No, it's like life. Life will find a way. Get the meme right. No, you're right, vendor. It will definitely get a workaround somewhere, somehow. But I think what they're doing is like when you log in, you know how like you log in as like Vendortron on your Xbox or something?
Mhm.
That's when it would do the check, depending on the game that you put in.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I just wanted to read a bit of the additional information that Joseph put in here for us. He says that breaking these rules will negatively impact the social credit score of the minor in question, which
Oh my
leads to
gosh.
all kinds of bad stuff, including limiting travel in the country, making you ineligible for jobs, getting a passport, etc. And then this is just a bit of editorial commentary from Joseph. So now this law begs the question to video game publishers that have sold out to China and its companies. Is it still worth it? They just drastically limited your potential to make money.
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
I owe so much um of who I am to the amount of games that I was able to play and the length that I was able to play them at a certain age. And yeah, I probably played way too many video games, but it wasn't a negative thing. You know what I mean? It didn't negatively impact my life. And I remember the first time you're like 14 or 15 and you're like, dude, have you ever played Grand Theft Auto? And you're like, no. And you're like, you can pick up hookers, man. And then you could shoot them. You know, and it wasn't like that. It was just that you could do bad things and you weren't supposed to see it. I felt like that was so important. Not the picking up.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, like I felt like just the idea of like playing a mature video game at the age of like 14 was very
Mhm.
important.
Mhm.
And then not having having unbridled time with your game consoles. I mean, there's such a especially if you're a loner kind of thing, like I was. Like it's so important, and like this is so stupid. And I know China is ridiculous when it comes to controlling their population, but man, these people need to just like.
I
No,
struggle
man.
a little bit internally on this because I do think that it's wildly restrictive and unfeasible, and a little bit communist.
A little.
Little
Maybe
bit.
a little bit more than little bit. But there's a lot of evidence that suggests that increased screen time leads to chronic disease. So,
Sure.
from a public health perspective, I think that cracking down on screen time is a good thing, but I don't think that it should come from mandated government laws. I think it should be from health promotion and community health education for families.
Sure.
And
Well,
maybe
that's
parents being
And
Yeah,
parents.
well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, parents. So, yeah. And more like put that money that you're doing into community programs around getting kids outside and getting kids active and pulling them away from the screen. If that's
Well,
what
there's
you
a lot
want
of
to, if that's
smog
what you're
outside.
ultimately trying to do.
Yeah, but dude, you know, this is all about monitoring people's behavior, and that's what China does.
There it
best.
is,
And
right?
that's why
It's a data
that's
mine.
Well, right, and that's why I mean the US does it too, but in a less restrictive way. Yeah, this is all just a way to monitor and build social profiles of minors, you know. And here's what's going to happen is no one in any sort of country that's outside of China is going to care. Businesses are going to keep doing business with them because of the almighty green dollar, and nothing's gonna change with it. And that's what sucks is nobody's gonna stand up for this. Nobody's gonna.
People are going to keep protesting. That's what's going to happen. Now they have a
Maybe.
new
I mean,
now they have a new reason.
Now
Yeah,
they
I
have
mean, I
more
don't know.
time to
It's-
protest as well.
Yeah. This is a good point, Shalene.
Oof. It's just I don't know. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. I feel bad.
I think, yeah. I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, "That's it. We're moving. We're going to Canada."
I don't think you can really. I don't know. I don't know much about China.
What a wild place. So, a little side note.
Go ahead.
My cubicle mate that's on the other side of the 1-inch wall, she's moving to China in like 2 months, and I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
why would you ever want to move there? Why do you want to move there? Well, her husband lives there right now, and he's working. And she said she loves it there. She loves living in China. She said it's a beautiful country. It's just such a nice place to live. I'm like, oh, okay. So social media has shaped my perception of it.
That's
But-
the
Yeah.
thing too. Is like, have the three of us ever been to China?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So like, we really don't have any idea what it's like.
Mhm.
By the
True.
way, we're not all immune to this. Remember the article I sent you, Vendor? Vendor, I sent you a Fox News article, and when you opened it, you're like the entire article was censored.
Oh,
Yes.
it It was redacted. Yeah.
It's so crazy to me. It's like I just shared you an article from the U.S. to Canada, and the whole thing is censored.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even any kind of controversial thing, was it?
No, it was just about
Well,
medical marijuana.
it was Fox
Yeah.
News.
Yeah.
I know, it was Fox News. Them
So-
Canadian commies can't read this.
Oh gosh. So I didn't do a great job putting the order of this. So we're going to skip ahead to the last one on the list, guys.
Okay.
Because it fits. Blizzard
Okay.
still sucks, guys. But everybody seems to want to forgive them about you remember, was it 2 weeks ago that we were really mad at Blizzard because
Oh yeah,
of
still mad at Blizzard.
We're
We're
still mad.
at Blizzard.
Yeah.
But I feel like the rest of the internet stopped being mad at Blizzard because they announced Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. And all was forgiven. All was forgiven. You guys are great. We love you, Blizzard. We don't care that you're supporting totalitarian regimes as long as you keep those good games coming. But that is not our statement here on Gamestack Podcast. Blizzard still sucks. They they gave a really hollow non-apology at BlizzCon. The quote here is from Blizzard's president, J. Allen Brock. We will do better going forward, but our actions are going to matter more than any words. As you walk around this weekend, I hope it's clear how committed we are to everyone's right to express themselves in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places. But you know what? Actions do matter more than words, Mr. Brock, and your actions are not rescinding the suspension of Blizzchung, who was the suspended Hearthstone streamer that we spoke about on the last episode.
Well, okay. Committed we are, how committed we are to everyone's rights to express themselves is a direct, like, that is directly in disagreement with the action that was taken.
Yeah, they say actions matter more than words. Well, that's true, Blizzard, and your actions are speaking very loudly right now, or lack thereof.
Does this guy have any idea what he's doing? Wow, fascinating.
I'm fired up, Vendor. I'm fired up.
Tell me more.
That's really it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That pretty much covers it. Yeah, they're not repealing Blizzchung's suspension. That's it.
You know, if there was a really smart company out there, they would pick him up and just roll with it. And just bask in all the internet glory and karma that would come their way.
Yeah, there was a quote from PC Gamer where Mr. Brock said, "We want the official broadcasts, which are a small percentage of the overall content that gets created, to be about the games, and we want those to be focused on the games."
Mm-hmm.
So they're not moving, they're not budging on that. So to me, that says that their words are hollow, and we should listen to their actions. And the actions of announcing Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are less important than what they've done here. But that's
Silly.
just me. So
Well, there we are.
yeah. Okay. Let's move on. PlayStation has also had some going on. Herman Hulst, who was the managing director and co-founder of Guerrilla Games, the creators of Horizon Zero Dawn, he is PlayStation's new head of worldwide studios. And this change comes as a massive restructuring project ahead of the launch of the PlayStation 5. Worldwide Studios' current president, Shuhei Yoshida, is leaving his role to start a new initiative for, and this is from a GameSpot article, by the way, by Richard Wakeling. Shuhei Yoshida is leaving his current role as president to begin leading a new initiative to nurture third-party independent studios.
Cool.
And I think that's really great. I feel like PlayStation has neglected indies this generation. They've had some killer AAA exclusives, but they dropped the ball on indies, in my opinion. And I'd love to see them pick that up. Shuhei Yoshida is a brilliant man, and he is somebody who loves games. I think he's going to do a great job in this role. So,
Wonderful. Well, we wish him all the best on his new adventure.
indeed. Do you guys think this will have any effect on the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel that is being spoken of?
I mean, if he is as good as you've made him sound, it
Well,
will be.
The gentleman the gentleman who was the head of Gorilla is now going to be taking Yoshida's place as president of studios. So he will no
I see.
longer be at Gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering if that might affect. I've heard it cheekily called Horizon Zero Noon, which I find pretty funny.
I haven't even beaten the first one yet.
Me either. I really need to go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of games I haven't beaten, Red Dead Redemption 2 had a really rough launch on PC.
So, okay, why don't you just preface and I'll share my experiences.
This
Oh,
is
you got it?
Oh, really?
No.
Oh,
But
okay.
just continue.
This is a Kotaku article by Riley McLeod. Red Dead Redemption 2 launched on PC, and there are issues. You have to get the latest graphics drivers. You have to get your graphics drivers updated. So that's a good place to start if you're having the issues. And this person is having freezes and a lot of freezes, some crashes. It's a problem. And players are reporting that turning off the cores on their CPU is helping with the issue.
That's
Is that a thing you can do?
Sometimes, yeah. When I
Play-
buy a car, I like to not use a couple of the cylinders.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 6-cylinder. I only need 3 of them.
Yeah.
The others are spares.
Yeah.
Some players are reporting not being able to start the game at all. It crashes on the intro, or it gives them a message that the launcher won't launch. And yeah, the antivirus software is competing with the launcher. They're not meshing, so that's a problem. Go ahead, vendor. Take it away.
Well, I was just gonna share my perceptions of it. So I've been watching people stream Red Dead because I'm really interested in playing it on PC. As you guys know, I've been really wanting to play it on PC for quite some time. And Fisk has been playing it a lot. He's had no problems. Joe Visitor has also been playing it a lot. Member of our community. Gosh, guys, I gotta say, when this game works, boy, does it ever work. The mechanics are unlike anything I've ever seen.
Really? I love
for a
playing this
Rockstar game.
I love playing this game.
Amazing. I'm even more excited to get it. I'm gonna wait for the bugs. I did watch Squirrelpool try to launch it for 2.5 hours
Oh,
a couple nights ago.
oh, that's horrible. 2.5 hours.
Well, he had downloaded and installed the game before he started the stream. Then he started the stream, got the launcher up and running, and the launcher just would not run the game. And he was having all those issues. Like, he disabled antivirus, and he had to update all of his drivers, and then he tried running it as administrator, and it still didn't work. And in the end, he just ended up rage quitting his stream because he was so mad that it just wouldn't run. And I don't blame him. Like, that's really infuriating, right? Considering that. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's one of these problems with all these proprietary launchers that we're getting.
Yeah.
They're not in the business of making launchers. They're in the business of making games. And their launchers don't have the bugs worked out. And we get antivirus shutting down the launcher.
Exactly. And he was saying that exact thing. Why do we need to have all these launchers? And I certainly don't blame him. I hope that he's got it up and running. And it's particularly frustrating because the game is like 129 gigabytes to install or something stupid like that.
It's like a fifth of my hard drive.
So, I mean, meanwhile, it'll take you 4 minutes to install it, Shalene. It'll take the rest of us 4 days. So, imagine waiting all that time and then having all of these issues. Stupid. And or people doing that and then thinking that they have to reinstall it because it's just not working. It was a bad install or something, How frustrating. Anyways, yeah. I feel your pain. I feel your guys' pain. I'm just going to wait for it to smooth out, though.
I think that's a fine idea.
I do want to get it for PC because I'd like to play it on. I'd like to play it again and play it on PC.
Rick, we should try and get it for the Extra Life stream.
Ooh.
And then we could play it together.
Can we rob a bank together?
Not IRL.
We'll talk about that later. Not robbing the bank, the Red Dead.
Yes.
Next story.
Keanu Reeves makes Cyberpunk twice as nice. This is a PC Gamer article by Fraser Brown. Keanu Reeves doubled his presence in Cyberpunk 2077 because he enjoyed it so much. His character, Johnny Silverhand, shows up a lot more than originally planned.
You gonna be okay, Rick?
I'm just gonna go ahead and call this game Cyberhunk.
Oh,
Nice. That's a good one. That's a good
you're
one.
bad and you should feel bad.
Oh, I don't feel bad, baby.
Stop it. Stop it.
You stop it.
You're freaking me out.
Okay, guys, I lost it. Why do you do this to me? So Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves' character,
Can't that name though.
lives
kinda stupid.
inside the protagonist's head on a chip like an AI. He's basically Cortana, is how I like to think about it.
Oh, the fan
Just stop.
fiction.
Stop. Zip it. Okay. Keanu Reeves, he was enjoying himself so much that he talked to CD Projekt Red and talked to them about giving this character a bigger presence in the game. And the way that we got this information was via the Italian voice actor for the character, Luca Ward. He told journalist Gianluca Rocco that his recording time had been doubled because of Keanu Reeves's desire to spend more time working on this game.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. I thought that was really, really neat. Reeves was also responsible for making the character more relatable and complex, according to the story's director, Marcin Blacha?
Marcellus Wallace.
Marcin Blacha. I don't even know what language that is. Presumably Polish. I don't know how to pronounce Polish. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. CD Projekt Red wasn't aiming for a well-known celebrity, but Reeves connected with the character while also putting his own spin on it. A good actor, and Keanu is a great actor, will always infuse their character with a bit of their own special thing, Blacha said. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty fantastic. More Keanu Reeves is definitely a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You did that on
No,
purpose.
I did. I'm doing it just to troll you now. But you know what else has been dead for a while? This
The
secret
show.
that players have found in Elite Dangerous. So Elite Dangerous is a really interesting game, in my opinion.
Mhm.
It's this spaceship game, and have you played it? I think you've played it, haven't you?
I've never played it.
You've never played it?
No.
You basically have to understand actual rocket science to play Elite Dangerous. You know, you have to actually be able to pilot a ship. You know, you have to use all the different everything. It's amazing.
Right.
But this game recently received an update. There was some in-game news, an apology from the fictional Rockfirth Corporation, which played a role in spreading a blight pathogen that wreaked havoc on countless space crops. And this was apparently an anomaly that they claimed that took the form of unexpected call for supplies from the... I'm not going to try that. I'm not going to try that word. But, well, do you have any ideas of how this word is pronounced?
Eupaniclus?
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 Okay, let's go with that.
Eupaniclus.
But a streamer, Malik VR, decided to follow this signal to its origin, where he found a generation ship, which is a vessel meant to ferry generations of human beings across vast portions of space at sublight speeds. And in Elite Dangerous's lore, these ships were rendered obsolete long before the current timeline. And over the years, players have uncovered 15 of these ships. None of them have ever contained survivors until now. The Golconda, as this ship is known, left Earth more than 1,000 years ago and has slowly but surely traversed 172 light years. And when he interacted with the ship, Malik VR discovered a series of voice logs from still living characters explaining their plight. On one hand, they need help. There is a plague ravaging their populace. They don't have rations. They don't have supplies. But on the other hand, they don't want to foster any sort of cultural exchange because they're afraid of having their own thousands of years of culture tainted by outside influences. And one of these logs, here's a quote: "We're more than just a colony, you see," says a character named Aaron Gray. "We're a family. Whenever a challenge is put in front of us, we resolve it together. When success is achieved, we celebrate collectively. It's hard to put into words. Our ancestors chose to remain on this vessel centuries ago and leave our original destination behind. They did so because they had grown to love what they have achieved." Logs from that period show their anxiety at the prospect of leaving the Golconda. The generation ships were designed to keep colonists healthy, happy, and entertained. Somewhere in our journey, we came to feel love too. And this may or may not be leading to something bigger. We don't really know yet. But I think it is really, really cool that this is something that was only able to be found because this guy tracked the signal back to its origins. I find that fascinating.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep.
I've always wanted to play Elite Dangerous, but the large curve of learning how to fly properly. Yeah, that's.
I love
I don't
this
know
this
about that.
footage of him walking around with this backpack or like tower of stuff, and it's
That's
just
Death
like
Stranding.
wobbling all over. Oh, it is it? Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
That's what's also got me distracted.
Kotaku, what are you doing to me? Why is this
Um,
in this article?
Ads, that's why. Ads.
Ugh, ads.
uh,
Speaking of Death Stranding, I happen to have my shrink-wrapped copy right here. Maybe I'll have some time to stream it this weekend.
Did
I
you
would
guys
love
hear
that.
about how some Amazon had shipped it a day early?
Oh, really?
nice.
Yeah, Amazon shipped it a day early to a lot of people in South America,
Whoopsie.
and they weren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a bunch of people online on Twitter posting that they had already got their copy.
Wow.
Whoopsie.
But are you
daisy.
excited to play it, Shalene?
I am excited. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this game. I frankly, guys, I'm shocked that it exists. Like, I told you over and over again that I don't believe this game is real, that I think it's a short film. I still believe that's a possibility. This could just be a Blu-ray disc containing a weird art film of Kojima's friends. Until I'm able to control Norman Reedus in real time, I don't believe that this game exists.
I'm not.
Story
even
for
touch
another
that.
day, I guess.
I'm not even gonna touch that one.
That's probably better. I probably could have worded that better.
Uh-huh. You worded that exactly how you wanted to.
Speaking of weirdness, there's a really weird Death Stranding Days Gone crossover, which I thought was pretty funny. So Death Stranding has the baby in a jar. We were talking about that earlier, right? The
Baby in a jar. Got it.
Yes, baby in a jar. You can get in Days Gone a modification for the motorcycle, because Days Gone, right? It's this post-apocalyptic biker simulator. It's fantastic. But you can get a modification for your motorcycle that turns the gas tank into the baby in the jar.
No.
Does it slosh around as you drive?
I can't even. Video games. Video games.
I real quick, I wanted to read this small little review that I found of Death Stranding. Do you two know who Jim Quisition is? Jim Sterling from
Yeah. I'm not a big fan, but he's a smart guy.
Oh, I enjoy him. He goes, I've spent the day with a review copy of Death Stranding, and whew, I'm sure that sure is a game about walking while trying not to fall over. That's what it was. And it was funny because in the video we were not watching. Norman Reedus is walking with his giant tall backpack, and there's button prompts for shifting your weight so you don't fall over. And I'm like, Jim was right. What is this game?
I can't
it's
wait.
like Tony. It's like if you were good at Tony Hawk 2 grinding, you were probably going to be good at this game.
I really, really think that I'm going to have to stream this to check it out.
I'm going to watch.
I think I would enjoy watching that.
I got the Steelbook edition. I did just open it because I'm a sucker for a good Steelbook.
What's a
So,
Steelbook?
It's a metal
It's metal case.
Oh,
metal
so literally
case.
steelbook.
So here's the
Gotcha.
steelbook case, and this is my first time opening the game. I just pulled off the shrink wrap. Live
So,
unboxing of Death
Can you
Stranding.
educate me on what exactly the premise is?
I don't think
Uh,
anyone really knows.
No, I don't think Kojima even knows. That's what it looks like on the inside. You play as Norman Reedus, who is tasked with reconnecting America. I don't know how America got unconnected. I assume there's some kind of post-apocalyptic thing. And you have the baby in the jar, and the baby in the jar is somehow able to enable you to travel through dimensions or something.
Fascinating. I don't even know.
That's what I've watched every video they have released, like every one. And Conan O'Brien gives you an otter hat. That's what I know about this game.
Conan O'Brien. You know what? So, have you ever seen that episode of Conan where he plays GTA?
I don't think
Well,
so.
if you haven't, you should because it's flippin' hilarious. I wonder if Conan O'Brien is going to play Death Stranding now
Oh,
and stream it or like do like a YouTube clip of it or something.
I'm sure he will. How could you not play the game that you were in?
Right?
Like, I don't know. But yeah, and finally, the last Death Stranding bit of info is that Joseph Tao, intrepid news director, recommends playing Death Stranding online because there is some special content for doing that. There's some kind of, I think it may be some kind of weirdness related to like reconnecting America. I think you can maybe connect with other players somehow. I don't know. Joseph was vague, and I don't know.
this is like an AT&T Bell Labs sim for like connecting America in like 1821 or whatever.
Well,
And somehow
anyways.
there are
Wasn't
dead
1820.
whales. I don't know what the dead whales have to do with anything. And there's like spooky handprints. Guillermo del Toro. All those things are part of this game. Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah. This game is bananas. I think I'm gonna have to stream the first couple hours. I really like experiencing the first couple hours of a game live on stream. I think that's a fun thing to do. So.
If I may make a suggestion, if everyone could go watch Polar on Netflix with Mads Mikkelsen, great movie. Moving on.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rick, for that recommendation.
Also, if they ever make a Metal Gear Solid movie, Mads Mikkelsen is Solid Snake.
I can see that.
Oh my goodness! Because of Polar, he wears like an eye patch, and I'm like, that's Solid Snake. That right there that's Solid Snake. Anyway.
Okay, remember like months ago when they told us that Halo, the Master Chief Collection, was going to come to PC? And we
there
were
was
all
much rejoicing.
excited because we were going to be able to play Halo together on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who knows how long we're going to have to wait, you guys, because Microsoft has committed to this policy of it will come when it's ready. Like, it'll be ready when it's ready.
I respect that.
And I mean, I'm glad. I would rather they have it in a polished, good, playable condition before they release it. The Master Chief Collection launched abysmally on Xbox One. It was just racked with problems. But I don't like this trend that we have in the industry of things being announced so far in advance of when we can actually get our hands on them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like that. But back to just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. Halo: The Master Chief Collection, according to this GameSpot article by Eddie Last time I said this, you made fun of me. The Master Chief Collection will be coming to PC one game at a time, while the Xbox One version launched with 4 games. The PC titles will be released and sold individually. Halo's community director Brian Gerard responded to a consumer on Twitter that Microsoft had never committed to a firm release date schedule for each game in the package. We never said anything about all the games arriving on PC this year. The current plan is that Halo Reach will be the first title to release by the end of 2019, and even this is not locked in. We've been consistently saying they're ready when they're ready. We certainly hope Reach arrives by the end of the year, but much depends on flighting outcomes. Flighting? What do they mean by flighting? Flighting outcomes? When it's ready, it'll launch, Gerard said. So, yeah, that's.
Huh.
I hope it comes out soon because I love Halo Reach, and I'm really excited at the idea of playing Halo with you guys. I think that would be super fun.
I know, it's just funny that this game started out on PC and now they're having trouble putting it back on PC.
Oh dear. Speaking of Microsoft, gosh, there's no way to. I'm bad at segue. Bad at segue.
It's okay.
But Xbox All Access is a relaunched program that lets you spread the cost of an Xbox console out over a series of monthly payments, much like many cell phone providers do nowadays. You know, you can make payments on your phone and then upgrade it. So if you get an Xbox One X with Xbox All Access, you can upgrade it to a Project Scarlet console after you've made 12 payments. So you can upgrade it after the new Xbox comes out in 2020. Xbox All Access lets you have an Xbox One for as low as $17.99. That's in pounds because this is a Eurogamer article. For 24 months, and you can choose between the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, or the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. And the payments change depending on which console you choose. One controller is included with each bundle, and a 24-month membership to Game Pass Ultimate is also included. And Games Pass Ultimate is so good. It's so
I
good.
love it.
I love it too. Yeah. This goes live on November the 5th in the UK, November the 8th, that's today as we're recording in the US, and October 29th in Australia. So Australia got it first. That's unusual. Congratulations, Australia.
Nephthys Nile in the chat's probably like, yeah, that was me.
And if you want to upgrade to the new Xbox, you need to buy your Xbox One X new with Xbox All Access purchase from the same shop where you joined the program, and you trade in the console you originally got. The console has to be in good condition when you trade it back in, and yeah, you'll get it back, and you'll get to trade in for a Scarlet, which is pretty cool. So I think that's a neat program. I think it helps reduce the barrier to entry for console gaming, because for a lot of households, that initial $500-ish for a brand new console is prohibitively expensive, and you know it can be difficult. It can be difficult to make that purchase. So I think that's a good option. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
So yeah. This is bad.
Anybody
getting
have
really
anything
bad.
else?
No,
Got
no.
nothing.
Well, I think that this is kind of a big thing.
Yeah,
Like-
it
this is a-
reshapes the way that.
It reshapes the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit afraid.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be very disruptive. And we are moving into this subscription-based way of gaming.
I also think it's likely to increase the cost of consoles.
Could be.
Because they'll be able to hide that cost a little easier
Yeah.
by
Well, and
spreading it out.
I wonder if they will also make it more expensive for people to buy them outright.
That.
Mhm,
So-
probably.
We've seen that happen with cell phone models. You know, we've
Actually,
seen that happen.
well, that's not entirely true. So in Canada, the cell phone plans in Canada are just wildly out of control. Companies just totally take advantage of consumers. And for my last two phones, I bought them outright because in the end, I calculated out that I would be saving about $500 to $600 that was accumulating over the amount of payments that I had. So my point is, for listeners, a word of caution, and figure out how much money you would be paying across payments, like Shalene was saying, versus buying a console outright and just being happy with that one console. There is an advantage, I do think, to being able to upgrade a console with no sort of consequences, right? that's pretty smart of Microsoft to do,
Mhm.
personally. But what are they going to do with all these extra consoles? Are they going to sell refurbished consoles now,
Yes, they
or?
absolutely will.
Yeah.
Refurbished consoles are a huge business already.
Yeah, it's
There,
true.
there are a lot of people in the town where I work who are still playing Xbox 360s and PlayStation 3s.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um,
It's like all 5 of them.
Shut up. But just because we and our community tend to be a little closer to the cutting edge, that's we forget that there are millions and millions of other people who are not, and
Yeah.
and their money counts just as much. But I
Eh,
lost track of what I was going to say.
Well, I also want to say that, like, can we just heap some praise on Microsoft for doing like everything right for the most part? Like, they haven't really screwed people or much up lately. I mean, think about it. Like, even though they announced the Master Chief Collection coming to PC, even though they announced it early, they're like, we're not putting it out until it's ready. Sorry. And then that kind of upsets us a little bit. But at least it's not like they launch it. We're like, it's terrible. So I just
I think
they're doing
Microsoft
a good job.
is overall a pretty good business, and they have sound practices. I don't think their technology is all that reliable.
Well, I mean, regardless, their business practices are better than
Many.
everybody else's,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
So
Okay.
Wonderful.
So I remembered the thing that I forgot. This program is also a really good way for Microsoft to drive sales of the current console, the current Xbox, at the end of the life cycle, because we know the new consoles are coming. A lot of people who would want maybe to get an Xbox and check out Gears 5 or whatever, Game Pass. A lot of these people might think, hey, in a few months we're getting this new Xbox. I think I'd rather wait and get the new, better one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they can have the option of trading their console in for the newer, better one. So this is a way for them to keep those consoles flying out the door, because Microsoft has been trounced in terms of sales this generation, just utterly trounced. And they do need to keep driving console sales. So I think this is a good tool for them to do that.
certainly smart.
Indeed. So, guys, speaking of console sales and the driving of sales and money type things, let's talk about what's in the stock market. Vendor, take it away with GameStock.
Guys, it's kind of a roller coaster market this week. So Sony closed as of today's date in US dollars at $60.41, up nearly $2. Microsoft went up nearly $6, closing at 146.11. They went up $5.47 since previous day. And Nintendo closed at $47.97, up $5.77.
I have 3 Nintendo shares. I earned almost $18 this last 2
That's
weeks.
wonderful. Yeah. So Nintendo's doing really well. Though Take-Two and Activision not so good. Take-Two actually closed at 116.96, down $8.06 since their last previous day. As well, Activision is down 93 cents, closing at 54.29. Ubisoft up 77 cents, closing at 50.70. EA at 98.27 at close today, up $2.47. And Tencent, surprisingly, also up $1.26 at 41.79. And the third quarter 2019 review has been released now from for the gaming market. And this article that I am just talking about comes from investingnews.com, written by Dorothy Neufeld. And so she comments about gaming revenues, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. So revenues for 2019 will actually exceed revenues for both movies and music combined, according to Newzoo. But for those not in the know, it's actually the magnitude of the gaming industry is really taking off, and revenues this year so far, we've seen revenues of over 150 billion. 150 billion. So that's pretty amazing. And this is these gaming industry reports are based on accelerated revenues, um, and information put out by the Investing News Network. But the gaming market update: large and small companies are starting to make more deals. We're seeing the gaming space full of major players now, including massive tech companies like Amazon, now trading, or well, not now trading, but they trade on the NASDAQs, as well as Google and Microsoft. But during the third quarter, they were actively building infrastructure for gaming content across platforms such as Twitch, Stadia, and Mixer. So she goes on to say that Rob Jeff, Echelon Wealth Partners Managing Director for Telecom Services and New Media, told INN that Twitch controls 72% of the streaming market, followed by Google at 20% and Microsoft and Facebook at 3% each. So the third quarter also witnessed several companies racing to snatch up media assets. This unfolded a lot of new acquisitions, as we've seen and reported on previous episodes of the show. So we encourage you to check that out as well. But it's just a good time for the gaming market right now. There's a lot of small cap companies that are being very active, as well as some of the bigger ones, and we're seeing some of these large industry leaders move into smaller platforms as well. So, and Canada is also kind of taking a new lead on esports gaming as well. I don't know if you guys have been following esports, but
Not at all.
Nope.
it's becoming an increasingly growing market for esports in Canada specifically. So we're going to see a lot of growth in the next year. If anybody were to invest in gaming tech and gaming companies, now is definitely a good time, but not for Take-Two. But that's
I was
GameStop.
a little surprised at the Take-Two's drop.
I don't know what news would have sparked this.
It must be the terrible launch of Red Dead 2, right?
I
Must
would
be.
assume. I would assume.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, they still sold a lot of copies, and
I'm still gonna buy a copy. I'm just gonna give it some time.
one of the top-selling games was Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, this super old game. It's still at the top of the NPDs month after month. So
That game is timeless. It's timeless. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
playing it not too long ago with Jess. And you, Shalene.
yeah,
I really love that they got new licenses for the music.
that was neat.
It's a whole new palette of music in the game, which is really nice.
Yeah, that one Bob Seger song. Like I can't listen to it in my actual car because it makes me want to drive too fast.
And like run over people.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
drive really fast when I hear that song.
Oof.
So speaking of playing things, Rick, what you been playing?
First, I want to mention that the baby in the Death Stranding controller does make noise from the controller, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, apparently it does.
Well, Don
Um,
Daly's going to have to give us a full report on this.
All right. So, what have I been playing? So, Outer Worlds. I've been playing the Outer Worlds. I actually completed my first playthrough. through Outer
Really?
Worlds. I did. Yeah. It was about 31 hours. So, that seems to be the average. Although I did read the other day that the game was beat in like 25 minutes. But it is relatively short. I found it pretty simple and easy. I think I mentioned before that I made the character like Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly. So I decided to make a Supernova character. It's a female, and she's going to be a corporate assassin. That's kind of what I'm making her like. So like a
That's
loner,
cool.
long
Cool.
rifles, and she works for the corporations kind of thing. So that's the idea behind my new build. But it's weird, man. I really lost a lot of interest in the second playthrough. I don't know why. But it just, I think maybe starting it so soon. But I've been playing it here and there. But I don't want to get into too many spoilers. But I found that the normal difficulty is real simple when you start getting up into level 30 because everything's just one shot kills. Like it's you get real powerful in that, and the enemies don't level with you. So
Have you played it in hardcore?
yeah, I've been playing it in Supernova. It is a
Okay.
lot harder in Supernova. Um, it's more fun for me in Supernova, and I realized that I should have done it from the beginning because that's how I always played New Vegas. I always popped it in survival from day one.
You're not
Yeah.
And
hardcore if you're not hardcore.
right, exactly. So I should have done that. So that's what I've been playing here and there. But what I really went back to, and this was very surprising for me, a few of my friends who I've been playing Battlefield 5 with, I had uninstalled the game because I was so sick of hackers in the main game. Like, I remember I was crawling through some brush, and I was crawling up to this rock because there was a tank up in the distance, and I saw the tank go behind a wall. The tank did not have line of sight on me, and that's when I moved and hid behind the rock. Then I pulled out my, Panzerfaust or whatever, and I was waiting for the tank to come back out. I was waiting for one of my guys to be like, "All right, the tank's back." And all of a sudden, I heard the tank start shooting, and it was hitting the rock right in front of me, the machine gun of it. And I realized at that moment he had the hack. He was using a hack where the wall hack, it would, or not the wall hack, but the aimbot, it would just click and lock right onto you. And he just didn't know because he was shooting through brush. He just didn't know I was behind a rock.
Hmm.
So I'm like, this is the stupid. Like, I was like, this is so stupid. I know he doesn't know I'm here. And in the second I stood up, boom, headshot, done. And I was like, this is so dumb. And I uninstalled the game. I was tired of it because EA wasn't fixing it. They just were letting the game go to poo. So I stopped paying attention to it, and they had this whole year 2 update. They introduced a bunch of South Pacific maps with Americans versus the Japanese, and new game types and new weapons and stuff. I just haven't even been paying attention. So some of my friends were like, you should really try it again. You should really try it again. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. I got so done with the game. It's fine. I'll install it. I own it anyway. The update's free, so I'll try it. And I installed it, and I booted up, and I played within that first game. In that first game, I was on the American team, and we were trying to take these two little islands. It was like a whole bit of islands, but we were trying to take flag A. There was a couple buildings, and there were hills on each side of the buildings, and there was brush everywhere, and you couldn't see very well because you could crawl up in the brush and just fire. It was crazy. And the utter chaos that moment brought me was so joyful because you run in and someone calls smoke on like A, and the smoke's going off, and there's artillery rounds hitting, and Japanese soldiers are running out of every bush and every hole and every rock, and you're like, they're everywhere. How are they just, and like a Japanese tank rolls up and you kill it, and then like another one comes up and like another wave of soldiers. You're like, where are they coming from? How are they spawning and just coming in sporadically? And it was just this chaos, and it felt so good, and it felt so, I don't know, realistic, but it felt like realistic to the point of how you've heard veterans talk about fighting in the South Pacific was just like, Japanese soldiers would just come out of nowhere.
Yep.
And then playing as a Japanese, sometimes the American team would just steamroll over you with like artillery and planes. You're like, maybe this, So I mean, it's just crazy. I remember one of the highlights of it for me was there's a sandbag wall and a hill, and I saw a tank coming towards where we were. So I ran and I slid, and I was hiding down, underneath the sand or next to the sandbags, and I was waiting, and I heard the tank getting closer, and the tank rolled over me. And as it did, I took some C4 and went,
That is so awesome.
and I stuck it, and it continued
That's
to roll
awesome.
over and went over towards A, and click, boom, and just blew it up. And I'm the tank destroyer. There's like the friends that I play with, there's a sniper who's always the team lead and calling in artillery and stuff. I'm assault / tank killer, and another friend of mine is the medic. And the medic is fun because no matter how many times you get down, he's just popping smoke and running up and healing you, and then you get back up and keep fighting. And so it's been a lot of fun. I haven't had really any experience with hackers in this one, or at least that I've noticed. But I gotta say, the new update that they did is fantastic, and it feels good and it plays good. It reminds me of like how Battlefield was supposed to be. I think all of the original maps were garbage, but the new maps, for some weird reason, they are fantastic. There's amphibious landings. You start out as Americans, you start out on carriers, and you take amphibious vehicles, and you have to land on the beach. amongst artillery fire and machine gun fire, and it's a lot of fun. It brought back some of those old memories of Battlefield that I loved, and so I've been
Yep.
playing a lot of
Yep.
that. Been playing Medal of Honor. No, wrong. Call of Duty. I got that. The story mode is great. If you can play it on realism, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good missions in it. The female protagonist they have in that game is amazing. I was talking with someone about it, and we were like, "This is how, like, we feel like they should be done." Like this girl
Right.
who's a freedom fighter. She's not like this bodacious babe with like cleavage hanging out and like an Uzi, like, we're gonna kill him. It's not like that. She's like this legitimate freedom fighter, and she's awesome and she's powerful and she doesn't need saving. But she's fighting alongside these like operators and stuff, and super good. The story is confusing as all get out. I was really surprised they put in a Benghazi moment. Like you're at an ambassador's place and you're getting inundated by insurgents. I was kind of surprised that they added that in there. But it was pretty fun to play that. And it was very much, if you've watched the movie 13 Hours, I think is what it was. Um, it was very much like that. It was very inspired by that.
13
But
hours.
it's the movie about Benghazi with Jim from The Office. Except
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
like a hunky
Mhm.
soldier. So it's very much inspired by that, including like the weird pillar field with the Anyway, so but playing the multiplayer, I've been playing a lot of gunfight in that, and if you have that game and you haven't played gunfight, go do it. Every single match feels clutch, in the sense that it's 2 versus 2, 20-second rounds, and you start with a random loadout,
Oof.
and it's so fun because it's just one life, you die, and that's it. And the reason it's amazing is because, for instance, there was one match I was playing, and it was me and some other person on my team. Happened to be better than them, and on the other team there was a person named Snappy who was the good one, and it was a tight couple of rounds, and it's the first 1 to 6 wins. Whoever wins 6 rounds wins. And we were at round 5. We had won 5, and they had won 3 or 4 or something like that. So it was the game-winning match, and I killed the other guy. Snappy was still alive, and Snappy popped my teammate. So it's just me and Snappy left. And I'm crouched down behind this wall, and I don't know where Snappy's at. I'm like, where is he at? I'm listening. I have my volume turned up. I'm listening for footsteps.
Right.
I don't hear him. There's like 10 seconds left in the match. I got to move. So I sprint forward. Oh no, I'm still behind cover. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to flush him out. I'm going to throw a grenade. So I whip a grenade, not realizing it's a Semtex bomb. So it just kind of like lazily flops through the air and lands and sticks above the bridge. So like there's a bridge in front of me and it sticks on like the railing. And I'm like, crap, because I was like, just
Yeah,
going to flush
yeah.
him out with it. So I'm like, forget it. And I sprint towards the bridge and I'm running. And I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I did it on purpose or if it was just a happy little accident, but I'm halfway under the bridge and I hear him drop down behind me. And I'm like, shoot. And he starts shooting. And I see bullets whizzing behind me and I get hit. And I turn to fire 180. And I don't know if I just did this or what, but I smacked E, which is my lethal button, and I blew up the Semtex. And it
Oh.
blew him across the map,
Oh.
and we won. I was like, oh my gosh. It was one of those moments where like you look around like, did anybody else see that? And no, nobody else saw it except for the 4 of us watching, and I didn't capture it.
That is
And
then you
so
see
awesome.
You see the
Too
kill
bad you weren't
replay.
streaming it.
I know. That was the night I was doing so good after the night I was doing so bad while live streaming. And it was just moments like that where just you would, it's the kind of game mode where you just panic or you do something because you don't.
Uh-huh.
You have to do something really quick, and it feels clutch. Like every single encounter or conflict with an enemy is it's win or lose. That's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
why it feels so good. It goes back to the GoldenEye days when you would play
Yeah.
those old school FPS games, and it was the guns were laid around the map, and it wasn't these like call-in airstrikes and things like that.
Guys,
what you had
GoldenEye
on you.
GoldenEye on N64. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, it was the best. And
was the
this is very
best.
reminiscent of it. It's so much fun to play,
When you had to go into like the bathroom and go into like the bathroom stall and like make the bomb thing and like put the it's awesome.
oh, I love GoldenEye. But yeah, so
So
that's what
good.
I'd been playing, those 3 games basically. I don't think I was playing anything else.
I'm having flashbacks to like the original Call of Duty. No, is it Call of Duty?
Which one?
It was like the first like online multiplayer.
Call of Duty
Um,
Modern Warfare?
I can't remember now. I just remember playing online and shooting things and hiding in bushes. It was probably my first account of hiding in bushes, in a
In bushes.
PvP world. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played much of the other online with Call of Duty. I know that my games were always domination and search and destroy, and I'm gonna dig into those a little bit. But um, I've been having a lot of fun playing those other games. If you play Call of Duty, I would love to play with you. I don't have any friends that play that game currently. It gets lonely out there,
Are you
folks.
speaking to me specifically, or?
I'm speaking to anyone who's listening. You are
Oh,
included, Bender.
okay, okay,
So if
okay.
you
I
get the
wasn't
game,
sure.
we will play together. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Vendy?
Guys, I've been busy. I have ignored all of my real life responsibilities
As you should.
and played nothing but video games for the last 2 weeks.
Delightful.
Yeah, you keep
Yeah.
streaming when I'm at work, you jerk.
I know, I'm streaming again. So, as you guys know, I have conquered another of Victoria Rosenthal's Fallout official cookbook recipes. It was the, what was it? Mutant Mantis chicken marsala. And so I will be reporting on that on next week's episode of that Fallout show. So stay tuned. I don't want to spoil it here, so I will just preface the gameplay by reminding everyone. I've been playing some mobile games. I told you guys about Fun Run, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Fun Run 3. Okay, well, I really encourage you guys to get it so we can play it together because it's actually a lot of fun to play together.
Is it a fun run?
Oh, it's totally a fun run. You have like saws and bombs and you can like blow each other up and when you throw the saw out, you like chop your opponent and they turn into like a bunch of steaks. It's just awesome. You can send lightning bolts and zap everyone and then they're just like a bag of bones as you run past. Oh, it's I think what I like about it is that the matches are very short. They're like a minute or two long. And there's first, second, third place. You get points and stars and money that you can use to buy clothes. And Shalene, their outfits, there's a whole category just for hats. Let me tell you, they have a tinfoil hat.
Ooh.
You can have a paper hat. I have a gladiator, like like
That
thing.
sounds magnificent.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I just spent a big bulk of the points that I've been saving up for like months and months and months and months and months since I started playing it to change my character. So when you start in the game, you start as a like this brown squirrel or whatever. But you can buy different like players. You can get like pandas and frogs and mooses and so I ended up buying a chameleon and his eyes are all like all over the place and it's like super cute. I'll tweet a screenshot of it or I think I did already. But I think I want to stream that. I think I want to stream Fun Run because people can join my clan or they can send me a friend request and then we can race together.
That would be so fun. You could race
Just
with the people
online.
that are in your chat. Like,
Yeah. And yeah, so it's the game that Carlo and I play together all the time. It's so much fun. So, anyways, I've also been playing the Outer Worlds. I got back to that this week. I am now on Terra 2, which is really nice. I really like the storyline there. I won't spoil it, but man, the gun mechanics are just top notch in Outer Worlds. They're really, really good. And yeah, I've got 2 companions now. So I'm super excited about that, but I won't talk too much about Outer Worlds because I don't want to spoil it. I've also been playing a lot of ETS 2, guys. Pro Mods has dropped, and it is
Okay.
glorious.
What is ETS?
So ETS is Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Ah,
And you've been watching a lot of the streams.
I have. I love
So
them.
the thing about ETS is that a lot of people have been complaining that the maps are not accurate enough. The road systems, the cities, like when you go to London, it's just a small smattering of buildings and that's the end of it. But now ProMods has come out. ProMods is a consortium of developers who have been working tirelessly for a very long time to accurately map the entire European hemisphere. So everything down in South Africa, all the way up through Central Europe, up to Norway and Finland and Iceland, and Svalbard's island, all of these places, all the roads are accurate. The people that I've been watching on Twitch that live in the UK are like, this is exactly what the street
Wow.
looks like that I
That's
live on.
amazing.
And the signage is all real, and so it's a really cool experience. I've been reading up. ProMods is coming to ATS, American Truck Simulator, as well, and they're going to be starting by introducing Canada, and particularly the Canadian Rockies, which I've driven through and is an amazing experience. And so I hope that it's just as accurate as it is in ETS2, but it's really, really awesome. So I went up to this island called Svalbard. Svalbard is this small community. When I visit new places on the map, I actually have to like Google it because I want to learn about it and see like there's like places you can stop, like points of interest and stuff that are actually like real. Like you can go there, right?
That's Svalbard. Sounds like a location in Skyrim.
It's like a really, really northern Norwegian small island. It's about, I think it's about 1,400 kilometers in size. But it's an Arctic community, and there's about, I think, about 10,000 people that live in this community, and it's mostly mining. Mostly mining, and then there's also a lot of research facilities. NASA has a research facility. But you know what I discovered? You guys, you know what I discovered? I discovered the global seed vault
That is
in the game.
so cool.
Yeah. So I was going up this road, this like crazy, like windy, snowy road, and there's all this like blizzard, snow was blowing and everything. And I came around this corner and I was like, what is this giant concrete like thing sticking out of this rock face? It was the entrance to the seed vault. And that was like so cool because I had only read about the seed vault
Right.
on like Reddit and things like that. You know, like I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know that it was on this island, and that it even existed in Euro Truck Simulator. So that was a really cool kind of discovery. Also, I think I uncovered kind of a game secret. There is, if you go past a certain point of the map on this small island, there is this network of underground hidden tunnels. Okay.
Secret tunnels, you say?
And
Dang it, you beat me to it.
I drove through these tunnels and I totally got lost. I haven't figured out really a system to the madness yet. I did discover this like pit with these weird crosses. I don't know what the crosses mean. It was really strange. The next day, so Indigenous Navi, who is another ETS player and streamer like myself, um, he was like watching my stream and just glued to the TV. And it was like he lives in the UK, so it was like 2 a.m. his time, and he's just like watching this, like totally riveted, right? He goes and streams the next day and he goes in search for these tunnels. And he gets to the tunnels and he finds all this other new stuff. And I'm sitting at work. It's like 10 a.m. I'm not getting anything done because I'm watching his stream and I'm watching him go through these tunnels. And it was the coolest thing ever. So he uncovered this. He uncovered the entrance. So the tunnels lead up to the entrance to the Global Seed Vault, for one. He uncovered this like grave site, which was really strange. And there was just like a man standing there walking back and forth. And then there was like this weird like mist.
I'm telling you, this is the Lost Woods from Zelda.
It was weird.
No,
It was
you
so
don't-
weird. And then
there's
he
Dompe
uncovered.
the Gravedigger. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, and then the last thing that he uncovered, he came around this corner and he seen this truck that was there with this trailer, and the trailer said Pro Mods on it. And beside the truck was this guy doing like this dance, and he was just dancing. That's all he was doing. There was no music or anything. It was just dancing. Um, and there was this, those like camping canopies, like for outside, for like when it rains and stuff.
Yes,
No.
I'm nodding. You can't hear that on an audio
Okay.
podcast.
Anyways, so there was one of those, and next to it was this pile, 2 pallets of champagne bottles, and underneath the canopy was 4 benches and 2 people sitting on each of the benches, and they were having like this like fire and sit around the fire and drink kind of thing. And I think it was like an ode to the developers of the pro mods for ETS. And it was an Easter egg that he kind of uncovered. So that's been my week in Euro Truck Sim. I also downloaded a mod for it called Grimes Frosty Winter Mod, which adds, winter and makes everything nice and snowy. So it's been really cool. And last on my list is Sea of Thieves. So we can kind of segue into your gameplay with this, but I played Sea of Thieves last Friday with you guys. That was a lot of fun. We got a lot of loot, and then we got looted, and I wasn't too happy about that. So
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
was not the best. That was not the best. The 3 of us were playing Sea of Thieves. It was a good time. We found some amazing stuff. We did quests. We had a ship full of booty, and some pirates came along and just sank our battleship, and they took our
in
stuff.
seconds.
We heard a cannon fire, and I looked and I was like, I don't see the damage. I was ready to repair. And they weren't firing cannonballs at our ship. They fired themselves at our ship. And in the cover of night, they boarded our ship and just destroyed us. It was embarrassing. It
Yeah.
was just,
Oh yeah,
it was awful. And
couldn't even be mad.
yeah, they were incredibly skilled pirates. We had reluctant respect for them.
Popped right around that freaking rock. Didn't even see him. Just boop, right
They
around the
came
rock
out of
and bam.
nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were a well-oiled machine, and we were a
But
machine.
Sea of Thieves has improved.
Indeed.
And I didn't think that it actually could get any better, but it did get better. What do you guys think of the new improvements?
Yeah.
I mean,
Adding
Rick,
more
you kind
quests.
of, I mean, Shalene, this was your first time with the new update, right?
No, I had played the previous week with Archon.
Ah,
So,
okay.
yeah,
No,
I
I mean,
had seen some of those things.
They added cooler stuff. I mean, they haven't changed any of the core gameplay that made it better, but Shalene, I think, would have more.
Well, I
input
just
about
love
it.
that there's a banjo now.
I
mean,
do. I love the banjo as well. It's really
The banjo
fun.
was amazing. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, Vendor, after you logged off, because you logged off shortly after that piracy incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Rick and I got a new ship, and we embarked on a new quest, and we actually were attacked by a kraken
Mhm.
Oh,
almost immediately.
I love the
Yes, yeah.
Krakens.
Yes.
It was like, like,
Yes.
Wait. the sea is dark.
Yeah.
And Rick
Was
was
his
like,
name
"Oh,
Phil?"
Shalene," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Kraken!" And the Kraken attacks. It snatches Rick off the ship, and it's just like
Yes.
waving him around. And he's like, "Shalene, help!" And I'm me, so I like threw a cannonball and missed, and like eventually the Kraken dropped Rick from
No,
peals
no,
of
no.
laughter.
It threw me across the ocean. Like it threw me over the ship into the ocean.
I'm having flashbacks to Men in Black when they have to pull that alien over on the highway, and Will Smith is like being thrown around by the
Yes, it
pregnant
was
lady
just
with
like
the
that.
tentacles, and Shalene is just like,
I'm Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like that. But it was really
Totes.
fun. Yeah. There's fishing now. Fishing is a new mechanic. It's really complicated.
Have you caught a fish?
I have not caught a fish.
It is
We
tough.
should make a point of going fishing.
Well, I really wanted to catch a fish when I was playing with Archon, and neither one of us could catch a fish. So later he sends me like a fishing tutorial from YouTube. So I study the fishing tutorial, and I'm
I
like,
love
yes,
Archon.
I'm gonna catch all the fish now. So then when I was playing with Rick, I was like, Rick, I want to catch a fish, and he's like, okay, let's catch a fish. So we stand on the dock, and we use all the worms, and we catch 0 fish, and like,
Like real fishing.
yeah, basically we were just, it was a worm genocide with no fish to show for it. It was terrible.
Worm genocide. That's what we should have titled the
Wormicide.
show.
No, I like our anti-corporate show title.
It's really
Yeah.
good. Really good. But they have added monkeys and parrots as pets. I
my.
thought at the beginning that they were impossible to obtain without microtransactions. I thought you just had to purchase them. There is a way to earn that coin. I think it is rather difficult. So more research is needed, though. They have these new chests that I really like that shoot up fireworks into the sky out of the sea.
Yeah.
We
I thought
found
that was
one
cool.
of those. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was stolen from us. That's
shoulda never
probably
went-
why they found us.
Yeah, we should have never
Actually.
went for that.
But when I played with Archon,
You
I
called
didn't want
it.
to, for the
You
record.
called it,
I didn't
Rick.
want
you
to.
did,
called
Rick.
it.
You were right. We were wrong.
I was like, let's go turn our stuff in, then go for it. And you guys are like, let's
Mm.
just get it on the way.
Yeah, the carefree attitude of living in Sea of Thieves no longer applies with these chests.
But those chests are worth a lot of gold, which is nice because I did get to turn one in when I played with Archon, and it was really fun. We went on this big quest to find it. It was really fun. I enjoy the new Sea of Thieves content. I think it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't played Sea of Thieves in a while. So yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
I've also been playing a bunch of Fallout 76. We have a whole podcast for Fallout, so we'll talk about that then. But I do want to give you some of the highlights now, if you don't mind, because
Sure.
there were some good highlights. I had a lot of fun. So the other day, I jumped on a Fallout, and Archon was there, and I'm like, hey, Archon, you want to play Fallout? And he's like, yeah, I was going to work on these nuclear winter challenges. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So we're playing nuclear winter. And you guys know me in the battle royales, right? Like I'm bad at them. I'm bad at
You
them.
shoot your teammates.
Well,
was-
I'm equally as bad, so don't feel bad.
I was highly successful at nuclear winter, you guys. It was amazing. I was killing people. I was finding stuff. It was just fantastic. I was spotting enemies. I was doing so good. I was really proud. It's a shame that you guys missed it. You looked in disbelief, Rick. You look like you're just in disbelief.
No, I
right
believe
now.
you.
But it was
I
amazing.
believe
I
you.
did get a 3rd place in nuclear winter. I was the 3rd one left alive. It was amazing.
Was it
Nice.
passive?
No, I killed a couple people.
Oh, look
So
at
let me
you
tell you the story. Let me tell you
go.
the story. Okay. So how it usually goes, right? How it went for 80% of these matches was I died stupidly, right? Like I'd be like walking around a corner and then Archon dies trying to save me. That's how it goes. Like, most of
Archon
the
usually
time.
dies
Yeah.
trying to save us. Yeah.
It's his lot in life. But this time, Archon died, and there was 2 or 3 guys that had killed him, and I decided I was not going to fight them, so I ran away, right? I ran away, I hid in a bush, the fire was coming in.
You bravely
And-
ran away.
Yes, I bravely ran away. And Archon is spectating, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm in this bush, I'm scared to death. And Archon starts coaching me. He's like, okay, go to those shipping containers, see if there's one that's open, and you can hide in it. And so I was going to the shipping containers, and as I'm walking around looking for an open one, I see a power armor shoulder clip through the side of one of these containers. And I'm like, Archon, there's a guy in there. He's like, yes, calm down. He's in there. He's waiting for you. Do you have any grenades? I'm like, yes, I do. So I chuck a grenade in the side. It takes down half of his health. I come around with my submachine gun. I kill him, and I take his place in the shipping container. I hide in
That's
there.
awesome.
It was so good. And I stayed
Just
in there.
throw his dead body out and
And like I could hear, it was down to just three of us left alive on the whole map. It was down to just three of us. And I could
Heavens.
hear the footsteps outside. And I'm just like hiding in there, like, what do I do? Should I lean out? Should I look at him? And he's like, no, just stay calm. Just be ready if he comes around. Okay, okay. So I listen to these footsteps. I'm like, is he moving? Is he moving? He's like, yes, he's moving around to the left. And eventually the fire was closing in, and I had to run from my shipping container because of the fire.
Oh, and that's when they
yeah,
pegged you.
I got plugged, and I was so disappointed, but I was simultaneously really proud at how well I did. I had killed like 2 dudes in that one match. I got a bunch of kills that night. It was so fun. Really enjoyed that.
It's really
Cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Sounds like you had fun.
we had an involuntary private server during the Halloween event. That was funny. Neither one of us has subscribed to Fallout First, but I was playing the Halloween event with Archon, and we did one run of Halloween, and it was just us and one other character. And then the next time we went, it was just us. And I was like, man, I guess there's nobody really wanting to do the Halloween event. He was like, Shalene, there's nobody else on the server. It's just us. It was really stable. It was really stable. All those explosions were rendered really well. It was
Nice.
a little hard to kill the sentry bot though. So it was a challenge. But
Didn't you buy the subscription package?
no, I haven't bought it. I haven't
Okay.
bought it. I can't reconcile the utility item.
She's
of the
still
stash.
disappointed.
I can't reconcile that. And
Gotcha.
like, don't get me wrong, I want that extra stash space, but
Maybe when
I
it's
don't
not
know.
broken.
I haven't made that step.
Well, there
yeah.
we are.
But anyway, that's my gameplay. Lots of Fallout 76, a bit of Sea of Thieves. It was a joy.
Well, guys, we do have one email that we've been sort of putting off for the last couple shows. Shall I read it?
Ooh, yeah,
I'd
go
love
ahead.
that.
So we apologize to Tom, Tom C, for not reading your email on the last episode, but we're really glad to include it in this show. So thank you for writing in. Tom says, as always, I love the show. It's always a great day when you show up on my podcast feed. Anyway, in the last few weeks, there's been a lot of negative news in the media, and I wanted to share a story that always helps me to smile. It starts a bit dark and heavy, but stick with me, and I hope it warms your heart and hard drives just like it does with me. So I'm 33 now, but since my late teens, I've suffered with depression and anxiety, and it has gotten worse as I've gotten older. But with a harsh course of hit and miss medication and a lot of support from my truly fantastic wife, I have gotten to a place where I can go for at least a week or two before I have what I call a down mood. This is where I will just be in a truly horrible mood, and nothing gets me out of this mindset until my meds have a chance to catch up, or one of my coping methods can kick in that can distract me enough to pull me out of this hole. Now, all this was true up until just over a year ago, when one day I recognized the signs that I was in a downward spiral while looking after my son, who was 1 at the time. I did not want any unhelpful mood to affect him in any way, so I made the effort to keep myself in check until he went down for a nap, and until I could use the only method that I had to hand, that was my Xbox. He says, while I distracted myself with gameplay, I didn't notice my boy had woken up and come back into the room and was watching me play with a little smile on his face. And when we noticed each other, he came over and sat on my lap and pointed to the controller, which was his way of telling me to carry on. And every so often, he would let out a little giggle when there was a burst of bright color or loud noise. Now, fast forward to 2 months ago. I was starting to have one of those bad feelings once again while sitting in my lounge, and I just feel this little nudge on my leg, and I look up, and it's my son with his biggest smile on his face, saying with such excitement, "Cash, cash," which is his way of asking me to watch me play Crash Bandicoot. So I fire up my Xbox and I sit down. He climbs into my lap, And when the game starts up, he lets out the biggest, happiest squeak and gets the giggles when Crash spins to break crates. And when I finish a level, it is the biggest mood boost that I can get from such a small person. Let me tell you, he lets out the biggest woohoo and claps his hands with all might. It was only a half hour of game, but this little 2-year-old boy pulled me out of my mood with nothing more than a nudge and a smile. So now every time I feel down, I fire up my Xbox. He is there to keep me company and cheer me on. So once again, thank you for letting me share this story with you, wonderful people, and the wonderful people in this community. Please keep up the great work, you guys. Thanks, Tom C.
That is the most heartwarming story, you guys.
So for our audio listeners, Shalene is just all tears now.
That's so sweet.
That is very sweet, and I'm really happy to hear that you have found your happy place. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's really awesome, and that video games has now created this bond between you and your son. And I mean, Rick can probably attest to this, but that is a
Yeah.
lifetime hobby, common hobby.
Yeah, my wife and my daughter play Minecraft a lot together, and they're always building things, and it's funny to watch my daughter build the most
Mhm.
like insane and obtuse houses and homes. She's like, you have to go like down this tunnel and through this like lava cave to get to the kitchen, and you
Your
go back
daughter's
up like
building
this
the
cliff.
Winchester Mystery House.
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah. And like I remember it was so cute, it was so cute when Evie was younger, like 2 or 3, and she'd sit on my lap, and I'd play Skyrim on the PC, and I'd be my little sneak thief character, and it was so adorable because I'd sneak up on someone and thwack them with the bow, and she'd go, "Oh, let me see their face." Every time, and it was so funny. Just she's like, "Oh,
The apple
Let me see
never
their face.
falls far from the tree, does it?
let me see his face."
I want to see your
Um,
face before you die.
so funny. It's kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
But it was really funny. But, yeah, that's really
That's
cool.
great.
It's a good email.
Yeah, depression is a real thing, you guys, and you know, that's the WGLG is about bringing people together. We are community based podcasts, and the Discord has really been the glue for everybody to converse and talk and just share their stories and the good times and the bad times, and everyone's fighting their own battles.
Yeah.
And we want you to know that you are not alone. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, just send out a message into the WGLG Discord, and people will be there to respond.
We absolutely,
Yeah.
our community is full of people who share these experiences with struggles with mental health, and that includes the three of us. We're all fighting our own battles, and it's so important to lift the stigma when it comes to mental health and talking about it, being open about your experiences, and working on improving ourselves instead of trying to hide these issues. It's
Mm-hmm.
so important to get help. So
Yeah. So, wow, what a nice. That was a wonderful email.
that was a really lovely email. Thank you for writing, Tom. And that was also a really lovely show, you guys. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. You guys are the best. Yeah. You guys are my besties. I love you. Do you guys have anything you want to plug before we leave?
Just the Extra Life stream on November 23rd, starting at 9 in the morning.
Saturday. Send me a personal message at VendertronN on Twitter if you would like to get a team invite to our WGLG Extra Life.
Indeed. Additionally, you can catch that Fallout show next week on this very Twitch channel. There's also a new episode of Dames Who Game on the feed.
Yes.
Episode 5 dropped yesterday, so that was very exciting. There was a bit of time between when we recorded and when it posted, so it was like a new episode for me when I listened. I blacked it out. I don't know if I was on NyQuil or what, but like there was this whole like 30-minute conversation about spicy romance novels that I don't even remember being a part of. But so if you want to hear me talk about
Mutiny from
spicy romance
Behind.
novels, there you go. Also, Vendortron, you've been streaming a lot, and I would encourage all of our listeners to go subscribe to you at twitch.tv/Vendortron because your streams are a joy. I really
You know what?
love hanging out in your
So
chat.
Brock Demok, who's in the chat right now, sent a message to me the other day, and he said, "You know what? Your stream was the first Twitch stream that I've ever watched." And he said it was awesome. He said it was so chill and like relaxing. It was just awesome to just like watch it and like do stuff in the background. And I was like, yeah, like you're always welcome. So, anyways, we welcome him in the chat now. Gamestack, his second Twitch stream, but yeah, super chill. I like just hanging out.
That is
So.
lovely. I really enjoy your streams when I can catch them. And if you would like to email us just like Tom did, you can send your emails to info@wejustlovegames.com. Info@wejustlovegames.com. Find us on Twitter at WeJustLoveGames. I'm Shalene L, SHALINEL. Rick is Rick McVick. Vendortron is Vendortron N. We also have a bit of a Facebook presence. Facebook tends to be neglected. We're sorry. Facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames and Facebook.com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. The place where we're absolutely the most active is our Discord server. You can find a link to that here on our Twitch page. I believe it's on our Twitter as well. Or alternately, you can send us a message on any other social media platform. We'll get you an invite to that Discord server. We record the show live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. We'd love for you to join us live in the chat. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those lovely places. Please like, subscribe, and review our show. Thank you all so much for listening. We love you. Rick, do you have a last word?
In honor of our anti-corporation episode, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.